episode of the Stash Report from the Stash Project. Today is July 17th, 2015. We got a couple of new kits. One kit that actually is more or less new. Some kit announcements and a few other sundry odds and ends re-releases, including several wheel sets. It is starting to get into that busy time of the month. This is what I enjoy. We're getting a lot of stuff starting to roll in overseas, and this coming week here, or next week, I guess I should say, technically speaking, we of course should start seeing the domestic stuff start to arrive at your local hobby shops. At least the stuff from Revell, because that should be in about middle of next week. So we have one new announcement. I'm going to show you a picture of the box art for, because it's an old kit, but it's a big deal in a, I guess, technical sense. We'll talk about that in a second. We also got Fujimi's August spot run, so we'll go over the that stuff here real quick. So Fujimi in August is going to be reissuing a couple of combination kits, moving a bunch of stuff around as far as the packaging goes. They're just straight reissues. They're just moving them into different boxings to put them in different series. People who follow Fujimi, excuse me, with any kind of regularity know there's like the Toge series, the Inch Up series, the Real Sports series, and of course the Enthusiast series that did the 200 plus part models of those 1980s supercars. And so in the combination thing, and this is of interest to me because I've had a couple of these kits on back order at Hobbylink Japan since last year, and they still have not come in yet, so now I can cancel the back orders and just order these kits straight up. They're going to be taking the 2003 Subaru Impreza WRX STI and the 2003 WRX STI V Limited, which were slightly different versions of the same car, obviously. Going to be combining those two into one kit and including window masks for the first time. They'll also be taking the, I think it's supposed to be a 94 and a 97, or what are the 2 years with this. Subaru Impreza WRX STI two-door, Type 4 and Type 6. The Type 4 was towards the original beginning of the production of the two-door WRX, and then the Type 6 was the last of the WRX. Now, those are Japanese spec type numbers. They applied nothing to what we actually got here in the United States. And both of those kits can only be built JDM. There are no left-hand drive dashboards or parts in them, but they're going to be taking the Type 6 to Type 4, combining them into one kit, and that will also include window masks for the first time. Several things that are being reissued, excuse me, or rerun in the Real Sports series are the Ferrari Enzo, the Ferrari F40, and the, don't call it a Ferrari because it's not technically a Ferrari, Dino 246 GT. All of those kits are curbsides. The Enzo and the F40 have sort of a chunk of an engine insert with basically the top of the engine and the air boxes being the separate pieces, because if you know your Ferraris, of course, the F40 really, for the most part, started the concept of having that clear back glass over the thing. There were other Ferraris that you could sort of see the engine through the back cover, but if you notice now, most Ferraris, the F40, the F50, the Enzo, the LaFerrari, the 360 Modena, the 458 Italia, all those kits, you can see the engine through sort of a clear piece that is see-through, for lack of a better term. And so the Enzo and the F40 both have a very chunky block that sort of has the bottom of the engine engraved on it in some cases, or not anything at all, because of like the Enzo, there's just a belly pan there. It has a couple 3-4 pieces that go in to assemble an engine, quote unquote. Now they'll make great shelf models, and they're like all three of those Ferraris, don't call the Dino a Ferrari, are going to be priced at like $12. So if you wanted a shelf model of one of these kits, you don't feel like putting together a massive Tamiya project or fighting with a Revell kit, those would be good weekend projects in reality. And I mean, it's cheap enough that you really wouldn't care, I guess, if it's not full detail. The Dino 246 GT, again, it is the curbside version. You guys have to be careful with this if you're trying to get the Enthusiast series, because that is a different model kit entirely, I believe. There are, I believe, at least 4 246 GTs, or was it 3 246 GTs and 1 246 GTS, which is the one that has the open top, or the Targa Cabriolet type top. There are 3 246 GTs that have Enthusiast series boxing, where they have, I don't know how many parts there are. Mine's sitting over there, and I don't feel like trying to drag it out. But it's 180, 215, something like that. Massive parts quantity. The kit that they're going to be reissuing in August is a curbside. It only has maybe 50, 60 pieces to it, and it has no engine detail at all, other than what is engraved into the chassis pan, and then there's a couple of exhaust parts. Moving from the Touge series to the Inch Up series is the Nissan Fairlady 280Z Arion. This kit, if you have been following us for any length of time, came out before Christmas. It was a December reissue in the Touge series. Same exact kit. It's going to lose the Touge series decals and just be put into the Inch Up series. And then these 3 kits are going to be moved out of Inch Up into the Touge series. So while the kits still exist, you could buy all of these kits through one of the 2 major Japanese vendors as the Inch Up series. Right now, they're actually in stock most places. These are going to be put into the Touge series. Some of them for the first time for a while, and of course, they'll get the decals and all the fun stuff that goes with those endless and aftermarket decals. That's the Nissan Fairlady Z32, which we know here as the 300ZX. That is the mid-90s 300ZX. The 72 Nissan Skyline GTX is a GC110 Ken and Mary 4-door. This is the 72, so the mid-70s Skyline. It is a 4-door. It's not a GTR, technically speaking, because of that. That is an older kit. It does involve sort of a motorized assembly. It's not nearly as bad as, say, some of the best car vintage chassis you'll see out of Yoshima of the same subject matter. But it is a very basic chassis. Everything is molded into it. There's a solid rear metal axle in the back and all that sort of stuff. And then the Nissan Skyline R32 Nismo GTR is going to be put in the Touge series too. It's been at least 10 years, maybe even longer, since the Ken and Mary 72 GTX has been put into the Touge series. And it's been 5 or 6 years since the GTR's been there. So again, those there will be nothing different about those kits other than the fact that they will now include a bunch of fun aftermarket accessory decals. They'll also probably be cheaper than the current boxings, because the way the yen is still very weak in Japan right now. These are priced somewhere between about $12 and $14 a piece, and the ones that are out right now are like $14 to $16 a piece. So go depressed yen. So the one kit that we have I teased there at the beginning, this is going to be for September. So this is our first official September reissue. I'm going to show you a picture of the box because you won't know what I'm talking about otherwise. This is the All Japanese Touring Car Championship 1994 BMW 318i, as sponsored by Autotech. Now, this is a Hasegawa kit. This, for people who do know their E36 BMW kits, the Hasegawa kit and the Dragon kit, because Dragon, the Chinese manufacturer probably best known for military stuff, did have a series of 5 or 6 BMW 318, or just 3 series in general. There's an M3 and a 318 and a 316 compact, and several racing versions of those kits. Hasegawa's kits were completely separate. They did a 318i, a 320i, and then racing versions of at least the 318i. The reason this is significant, if you want to consider it that, or first of all, it's probably the first time a lot of you guys have seen this kit. It's been out of production for a really long time. Let's put it that way. These kits didn't sell for crap originally. The Dragon kits were never sold. These kits really didn't sell for some reason. Perhaps because they were curbside, perhaps because when they were out originally, we were very, very heavily invested in the NASCAR kits here in the United States. But now, because they haven't been in production since the mid-1990s, they are a gajillion dollars to find these kits. Right now, there is one of these kits on eBay, that exact kit, and it is $80. Buy it now with a $20 shipping charge. So this kit will be $20, and you could ship it from Japan for like $7. So $27 versus $100. I personally, you guys know this if you watch for long enough, love it when the manufacturers, be it American or Asian, destroy the value of things on eBay. I've made a video about stashes, about having big stores of model kits, because it was brought up in the Sprue Cutters Union blog for July, and I haven't put the video out because I'm still sort of debating about whether or not I got the message I wanted through with the video or not. But for the collector, for the hoarder, for the people who think that plastic models are something you can collect and retire on, rather than being an unassembled box of 20 cents worth of plastic, I love it when they reissue something that's been out of production for a really long time, because it causes a great deal of gnashing of teeth, and that's not fair, and blah, blah, blah. Well, it is entirely fair. A bunch of people sitting on $100 BMWs are going to have to sell them here in the next couple of months, because in September, $20 ones are going to start showing up. There is a replacement decal set for that exact kit that was made by Shunko. It was last seen in 2012. I expect that Shunko will be reissuing it, and I think it's JVox is the other one that was sponsored that they did, and then MSM Creations did a version for the Warminster FINA British Touring Car Championship version. Those two sets of decals, if you look around through various vendors, there's one in Singapore that has them in stock, brand new. They just never sold out of the 4-year-old decals. It'll be interesting to see how well this kit sells, because I guarantee it'll fly off the shelves, because it hasn't been out in 15 years, and then the price of them is ridiculously high. I plan to get one. It's an interesting subject matter that is, sort of been one of those, I'd like to have one of those, but I'm not going to pay $100 for it kind of thing. Be interesting to see if Hasegawa runs all three of those kits, because the three sets of decals that exist for the Hasegawa 318i were more supplemental replacement sheets rather than being other things. Hasegawa did a JVox, and Hasegawa did the British Touring Car Championship Warminster FINA car too, so I'm sort of torn between buying three of those and getting all the decal sets for them, or just buying one of them and hoping that Hasegawa reissues the other ones, because you can't even find the other ones on eBay. They're so, rare and desirable, even though nobody wanted to buy them when they were new. So, anyway, enough babbling about that. Let's talk about what came out this week. You have one more or less brand new kit from Fujimi, several Fujimi reissues, a couple of Aoshima reissues, and one Tamiya reissue. So we'll start at, I guess we'll start with Tamiya, because this is a kit that a lot of people have been waiting for. It's also one that is going to absolutely plummet and destroy kit values for the collector's market, because this is another kit that hasn't been around for a really long time, and was going for, somewhere between $60 and $125 on eBay if you could find it in the first place. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is this. This is the mid-19 or early 1990s. When was the Civi kit supposed to be from? I don't have that drawn out. Anyway, it's like 90. I guess it's supposed to be, 91? Isn't that what I said last week? At any rate, this is the Toyota Land Cruiser with sport options. This is a reasonably different kit in accessories and wheels and tires from the factory stock one, that you can't build this kit out of the factory stock one, and you can't build the factory stock one out of this kit. You do get a different set of tires entirely. They're the regular, we've been calling it the Land Crusher lately, and I'm trying not to call it that, but the regular factory stock Land Crusher kit that came out last week had last month had BF Goodrich tires, factory stock wheels, completely and totally factory stock vehicle. This has a set of Dunlops. Those wheels are completely different. They do include the factory stock wheels with it, which is kind of interesting. You get a spare set of four-wheel drive wheels with it, although they are factory stock Toyota wheels. It doesn't come with like a regular front bumper. The only front bumper you get is the one that's on the box there, that great big push bumper. You also have to put the ladder rack and the external rear tire mount on because there's no stock rear bumper for it. The basket and the light rack up on the roof are optional. This kit is just like the other one in the sense that it is full detail, complete engine, drivetrain, chassis, ladder frame, separate chassis. And it also does, as we talked about before, include all of the left-hand drive parts, dashboard, windshield wipers, everything. So you can build this as at least a European, if not North American version of a Toyota Land Cruiser. Plus, you get a whole bunch of bobs and bits with it that you can't get anywhere else. They never sold these parts as a separate parts pack. They only came with this kit. There is a Mitsubishi Pajero that they did the same sort of thing where it was a factory stock and then they did the sports option. Be nice to see that come back because it hasn't been out forever either. But this takes $100 model kit and crushes it to down into the $20 range again. So yay! Over on Aoshima, we can see a reissue of the Mines tuning house. Nissan Skyline GTR R34. This is a really, really neat kit. It does come with the BBS wheels as shown on the box. These BBS are the two-piece. Actually, all of Aoshima's BBS wheels are two-piece. So you can make the center portion any color that you want, and then you get a chrome stainless steel-ish lip to put on there. They are staggered wheels. And personally, of the various R34 tuner versions that Aoshima did, this is my favorite one. I already have one from a couple of years ago, but it's nice to see that come back. And then also, there are 4 sets of wheels that Aoshima reissued on Monday, and they are this Volk Racing CE28Ns. Anybody who watches ELP modeling knows that he did a review of this very set of wheels. I'm not sure what day wheel thing is. Wheel Saturday or wheel Sunday? Well, it was over the weekend, and or no, maybe it was Tuesday. It doesn't matter what day it was. Just go back in his channel and look for it if you want to see what these look like out of a box. I'm not sure what tires are coming with these 4 wheel sets because they came with sort of very high profile Bridgestone. They were sports car tires, but they're not very low profile sports tires, and a lot of people have problems with that. Also included in this 4 set of wheels are the Enkei NT03 Plus M's. I like this wheel set. It's very delicately molded and looks just like this box art. And then you have the Racing Heart Type CR wheels. And then you have the good old-fashioned standby of all Japanese wheels, the Volk TE37. For anybody who's paying attention, if you want to get this set of wheels done in titanium silver pre-paint rather than the bronzish color that they come in, they're going to be reissuing it in the titanium silver paint in August. And that brings us over to Fujimi. So Fujimi did several combination reissues and some other stuff. So this is the Prince, technically. You notice it doesn't say Nissan on it because this is still back when Nissan was still Prince, or parts of Nissan were still Prince. Skyline 2000 GT, 54A, 54B. That is a GTA and a GTB. There's very, very minimal differences between the two of them. It literally is trim, mostly. Some painting differences because you couldn't get certain color options in certain years. Otherwise, you would never know the difference between these two cars, probably. I have them both separately, thinking that they were more different than they were. But you can build it either way out of the box, and that's what that little yellow Japanese thing there is telling you. It's telling you have a choice of building styles. And then the Nissan Cube EX on the left and Agi Active on the right has been reissued. Again, this is a combination kit. It does come with window masks, which is what that yellow box is telling you. The blue box is telling you that you can build it either way. The main differences here, guys, are the grille and the front bumper, and then if you look at the Agi Active down there by the wheels, it has sort of a running boardish kind of lower body molding. Those 3 things are the differences. They actually have the same wheels and tires. I thought there was a different set of wheels. I was incorrect. So same set of wheels, literally grille, the front bumper, and those side skirts type things are the only differences. Does come with window masks. I think I said that. But the Agi Active has not the parts for the Agi Active have not been out in a kit in like 10 years. You can get the EX. My local hobby shop actually has one. That's how long ago and far away that kit's been. It's actually sitting on a hobby shop shelf that doesn't really carry Japanese model kits. And then you have the Porsche Cayman, the blue part telling you can build this as a Porsche Cayman or a Porsche Cayman S. The yellow box telling you that it comes with window masks. And the main differences between the Cayman and the Cayman S are the wheels, as well as all the emblems that differentiate, and then there's a different exhaust tip out back. This is a curbside, much like a Tamiya version of these generation Porsches. Everything is engraved. The engine parts are all engraved into the chassis, and then there are a number of little separate parts for the exhaust and things like that flesh it out a little bit. Literally, the only difference is the wheels, not the tires, just the wheels and the exhaust tip. I bought two because I want to build it each way, and in the end, I get a spare set of factory Cayman Porsche wheels and a spare set of Cayman S wheels. The Cayman S wheels are kind of neat. So I get two wheel sets out of them. They're like $18 a piece, so we get a model and a wheel set for $18, and I can build, two of them. It works out for me. And then the last reissue from Fujimi. This is the last of the spot runs from July. This is the Nissan Skyline R32 GTS, which is GTS Turbo. This is a curbside kit. It's pretty simplified. All of the R32 kits are pretty simplified. This, of course, the GTS Turbo is the one rung below the GTR. It does not have all-wheel drive, and there are obviously some body differences, so you can tell them apart. The yellow box is telling you that you get window masks with this kit, and this is the first time that this kit has been out in any form for about 2 years. It was in the Toge series last, and that was discontinued. I don't know exactly when, but it was long enough ago that it was 2 summers ago when it got discontinued. So it's been 2 years now. And then lastly, the Fujimi's sort of mostly new kit for the month is this Lexus LS 600 Hybrid L, or the Hybrid Limo. This is about 75% new, I want to say. Most of the chassis carries over from the previous 600 kits. Most of the interior carries over from the 600 kits. You do get a new dashboard, new seats, I believe they're new door cards, as I like to call them, new door panels. But you do get the old seats, the old dashboard, and some stuff from out of the 2010 version. They didn't bother to not include them. Obviously, the entire body is new, and you get a new set of glass for the new body. Although you do also get all the glass from the 2010 kit, because the main glass for the cabin, the front sides and rear glass is on a parts runner, and they just threw the whole parts runner in rather than just the window glass, or creating a new window glass entirely. So there's two clear sprues on this one. I guess that's pretty much all I have to say about it. It's a very standardized curbside. Fujimi has really done a fantastic chassis detailing on all of their Lexus kits, and then it usually slides ass first into no man's land when it comes to the interior, and then the body's usually pretty decent. I think I saw somebody trying to compare this kit to the real thing on side profiles, trying to prove that the thing didn't line up, and it may not. It looks like the front's a little too long, proportionally speaking. The cross section they showed, like the back, from behind the front wheel to the front door was too long. I don't know if that ever. Knowing that, I still don't care, because nobody else is ever going to know that, because who's ever going to see this model kit and a real 600 HL at the same time? Now, I know that sounds somewhat hypocritical compared to some of the comments we've made on various Revell kits, and it is a problem if it really does exist. It's hard to tell, you're taking a picture of a car that was taken from a certain field of depth, and then putting a model underneath of it taken from another field of depth, whether or not they're exactly precisely the same. I've always been somewhat dubious of people who try to do the side-by-side grid comparisons by trying to either upsize the model kit or downsize the real car to make them the same size, quote-unquote, because you're sort of, doing photography tricks at that point. The last thing about this, I guess, is that it is JDM. It is right-hand drive only. There are no U.S. or North American or European or anything other spec versions of that available. You can only build it like it will be in Japan. And so, guys, that's it. We're still waiting on, of course, the new kits from Aoshima. Like I said, the domestic stuff, the Revell stuff will be out. Ooh, I almost forgot. I hope the guys haven't tuned out. for August 1st delivery, so it's technically a July kit, I guess, to me. Galaxy Limited has finally gotten the 47 Chevrolet Coupe done and out, sort of. It's on the boat on the way over here from Korea. You can build it in all 3 years. If you guys know that your Galaxy Limited kits, you can build the Aero sedan or the sedan delivery as a 46, a 47, or a 48. You have that option with this kit. You can also build it the same 3-in-1 as all the kits have come. Straight up factory stock, a custom or drag, or I believe they just call it racing, but it is more of a drag kit than anything else. And then, what am I trying to think? Oh, the Aero sedan is being reissued with wood panel sides and decals to go with it. So, if you're interested in building the wood panel sided Aero sedan, that also is expected to be in August 1st. That's technically a reissue, modified maybe a little bit. Then it is a new kit because they just sort of put new inserts in to cover the doors, and that, as we say, is that, I guess. So anyway, like I said, we're waiting on the domestic stuff. We're waiting on one last kit out of Fujimi. That'll of course be the mythical Lotus Europa special kit. That's supposed to come out Tuesday. And then the Toyota. Wow. Got too many things. Looking at too many words and then trying to talk. The B-Max Aoshima Chevy Cruze World Touring Championship car is supposed to be released on Monday. So we'll see if that actually shows up. The B-Max did just come out and show pictures of completed packed kits ready to be shipped last week. I think it was Thursday or Friday. So those are shipped. They should be getting to the distributors over the weekend. And then finally, that kit will be coming out. Very excited to get that. And we got 5 reissues from Aoshima still pending. And then 7 of the Shizuka show kits. The last of the new stuff that Aoshima has announced should also be coming out in the next 2 weeks or thereabouts. And then we'll go from there, I guess. The big news I hope to tell you guys as far as what the next Aoshima supercar kit was. Couldn't get that authority yet. They never put out the press release over this past weekend, so maybe it'll be this weekend. So you have to hang out a little bit more on that one. So anyway, guys, rambled long enough. We'll see you guys on the other side.
Yeah.